Every single day, millions of intelligent people make the same financial mistake. Not because they're careless, not because they're bad with money, but because their brain is doing exactly what it was designed to do. Imagine this. You're about to buy a brand new phone. The salesperson gives you two choices. Pay $999 today, or only $29 a month. Nothing changed. Same phone, same purchase. Yet suddenly, one option feels almost effortless. Why? Because your brain doesn't experience money the way you think it does. It doesn't naturally measure the total cost. It focuses on what feels manageable right now. And once you understand why, you'll never look at an EMI or a monthly payment the same way again. Have you ever noticed how almost nothing is sold for its real price anymore? You rarely see the full price first. Instead, you see only $29 a month. A new phone, only $29. A new car, only $399. A vacation, just $149 a month. Slowly, the total price disappears, and something else takes its place. The monthly payment. Without realizing it, your brain stops asking, "Can I actually afford this?" Instead, it begins asking, "Can I afford this month?" That tiny shift changes everything, because your brain was never designed to calculate years into the future. It evolved to survive today, to solve today's problems, to chase today's rewards. And that's exactly what modern finance understands. Monthly payments don't simply divide the cost, they divide your attention. Instead of seeing the mountain, you only see the next step. The total cost quietly fades into the background. The monthly payment becomes the entire decision. And strangely, that feels comfortable. Comfortable enough to say yes. Comfortable enough to borrow. Comfortable enough to do it again. But here's the fascinating part. This isn't about intelligence. Doctors fall for it. Engineers fall for it. Business owners fall for it. Even financial professionals sometimes fall for it. Because the real opponent isn't the bank. It isn't the salesperson. It isn't the advertisement. It's your own brain. And your brain has a favorite shortcut, one that quietly shapes millions of financial decisions every single day. What if the thing making monthly payments feel affordable has almost nothing to do with money? What if it has everything to do with psychology? In 1979, two psychologists made an unusual discovery. When people become overwhelmed, they don't always make better decisions. Instead, they often make simpler decisions. Your brain loves shortcuts. Psychologists call them mental shortcuts, heuristics. Instead of calculating every possible outcome, your brain asks one simple question: does this feel affordable? Notice that word. Feel. Not, is it affordable? But, does it feel affordable? And that's where monthly payments become incredibly powerful. Imagine someone offers you a brand new smartphone for $999. Your brain pauses. That's a lot of money. Now imagine the very same phone. Only $29 a month. Nothing changed. It's the same phone. The same total cost. The same decision. Only the presentation changed. But suddenly, your brain relaxes. Why? Because $29 feels small. Your brain is comparing $29 to this month's paycheck, not $999 to your long-term wealth. Behavioral economists call this payment framing, one of the most powerful ideas in consumer psychology. Change the frame, and you change the decision. That's why advertisements rarely begin with the total price. Instead, they begin with only $9.99, only $29, only $99, only $299 a month. That single word, only, quietly changes how your brain experiences the purchase. The total cost moves into the background. The monthly payment takes center stage. And once that happens, something even stranger begins. Your brain starts believing it found a better deal, even though it may end up paying more. How can paying more feel cheaper? The answer lies in another psychological illusion, one that marketers, retailers, and lenders have understood for decades. Now comes the biggest surprise. Most people believe they're paying for the product, but often they're really paying for a feeling. Think back to the last time you bought something you were excited about. Maybe it was a new phone, a new car, a new laptop, or something you had wanted for months before you bought it. You imagined how great it would feel. You watched reviews, compared features, thought about it again and again. Your brain was already rewarding you long before you owned it. Scientists call this anticipation. The expectation of a reward can be just as powerful as the reward itself, sometimes even more powerful. Then finally, you buy it. The package arrives. You unbox it. You use it for a few days. Everything feels new. Then, something changes. The excitement begins to fade. The product becomes ordinary. It quietly becomes part of everyday life. But the monthly payment doesn't fade. It keeps showing up, month after month, long after the excitement has disappeared. And that's how many people accidentally begin chasing the next purchase. Not because the old one stopped working, but because the feeling stopped lasting. A newer phone, a bigger television, another vacation, another upgrade. The cycle starts again. The reward is temporary. The payment isn't. Once you see that pattern, you begin asking a different question. Instead of, what do I want to buy? Here's the good news. Your brain isn't broken. It's simply doing what it evolved to do. The goal isn't to stop wanting things. The goal is to understand why you want them. Because once you understand the pattern, you can change it. Instead of asking, what can I buy? Try asking, what does my future self wish I would do with this money? That tiny pause changes everything. It gives your logical mind a chance to catch up with your emotional mind. Sometimes you'll still buy the phone. Sometimes you'll still take the vacation. And that's okay. The point isn't to never spend. The point is to spend on purpose, not on impulse. Over time, something remarkable happens. Your brain starts finding satisfaction in progress instead of purchases. Watching savings grow, watching investments grow, watching debt shrink, watching opportunities multiply. The reward doesn't disappear. It simply moves from the excitement of buying to the satisfaction of building. And that's a feeling that doesn't last for a few days. It can last for decades. So, does this mean monthly payments are bad? Not at all. A mortgage can help someone buy their first home. A business loan can help an entrepreneur build a company. Student loans can open doors to education. Financing itself isn't the problem. The problem begins when we stop asking why we're borrowing. Every financial decision comes with a trade-off. Every dollar spent today is a dollar that can't work for tomorrow. That's why the most financially successful people don't automatically say yes. They pause. They ask, is this purchase improving my future, or simply improving this moment? Sometimes the answer will still be yes, and that's perfectly fine. The difference is, it's now a conscious decision, not an automatic one, because once you understand how your brain frames money, you stop reacting to monthly payments. You start looking at the bigger picture, the total cost, the long-term impact, the opportunity cost, and perhaps the most valuable question of all: if I didn't have the option to pay monthly, would I still buy this today? If the answer is yes, you've probably made a thoughtful decision. If the answer is no, your brain may have just revealed something important. And that's the real goal. Not to fear debt, not to avoid spending, but to make financial decisions that your future self will thank you for.